Okay, everyone, we are here live with Corey Smith, who happens to hold the prestigious title of Senior Director of Supplier Diversity and Strategic Sourcing for the MLB, which was a mouthful. So, Corey, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. How's it going?
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So, I just wanted to ask a couple questions. Now, what strategies did you apply from what you learned at NBC to the MLB?
That's a good question. Nobody's ever asked me that before.
Oh, yay!
You know what? Because I'll be pretty honest. In my brain, when I was transitioning from media and entertainment to sports, in my brain I thought they were going to be very, very similar. I said, okay, sports, TV, film, it's all entertainment. It's all going to be the same. I couldn't have been more wrong.
Wow.
They are night and day. The sports industry is definitely its own unique animal. Very different from how TV and film operate. But again, my role is really around procurement and
Yes.
diversity and inclusion. And from a certain perspective, I think there are similar strategies to be used regardless of the industry in which you're trying to see some success. So procurement processes in terms of bidding and quality of the supply chain and compliance issues and everything that is involved in international and customs. A lot of that stuff is, again, like I said, the same. So it was really just trying to bring it into a new world. I think the biggest difference, and it was something that I had to figure out and learn, pretty quickly, is the sports industry runs primarily off of licensing and sponsorship deals.
Okay.
And that sometimes you can bring on a sponsor, and one of the perks of being a sponsor is that they are now potentially your exclusive provider of a certain product or service, whatever their company does. That is not the norm in your traditional procurement process, where somebody can just lock out an entire category simply because they're a sponsor. So that was something that was unique to the sports industry, because the sports industry, all of them, NBA, NFL, we all have huge sponsors. And that was something that I had to get used to from a procurement process, because again, it will, eliminate an entire category from potential bidding processes and RFPs and all of that stuff. So that took some getting used to. I'd like to believe I've come to terms with it.
Of course.
So that's been pretty cool. But everything else, I would say, is pretty straightforward from a procurement or a diversity and inclusion perspective.
Okay, great. Now, you've been with the league since 2011. What's your favorite part about letting potential clients know about how MLB really takes diversity seriously?
I think it's weaved into the fabric of the business at this point. MLB's supplier diversity program has been around since the late 90s. Even the name of it, right? We call our supplier diversity program the Diverse Business Partners Program, and the name says a lot, because we do treat our supply chain as partners.
Okay.
They're not just a supplier to us, not just somebody like, here's a purchase order, send me my product, and then goodbye, I never want to talk to you again. We really do try to build a partnership with a potential supplier so that they're around for a long time. And not only that, but that we get to help and aid in their growth and development. So that construct alone really does help us from a diversity and inclusion perspective, because oftentimes those folks are just trying to get their foot in the door, and we not only make sure that they get in the door, but that they stick with us. So we have diverse partners that have been with the league for well over 10 years, in some cases 20 years. They've gone from doing business with just one team to doing business with 15, 20 teams. And that's all, again, by design. It's completely intentional.
Okay.
The clubs embrace that kind of concept, so it works to everybody's advantage.
Terrific. Now, how did you go about planning for today's How to Do Business with the MLB panel?
So the overall event was by invite only.
Oh,
so in the past,
okay.
we've had summits in the past where we kind of just do a big marketing campaign, and we say any and all suppliers that want to do business with MLB, feel free to come on in, and there's a registration fee, and it can be viewed as a revenue generator for us if you look at it from a certain perspective, because we're just opening the doors. This was very different. This was a strategic approach to focus on two different types of suppliers. The first step was we picked suppliers that are doing business with at least 2 or 3 clubs already. So we picked suppliers that are already in our process, and we invited them. And again, going back to the previous comment I made, it was really about let's figure out how we can grow their business. If they're doing business with 2 suppliers or 2 clubs right now, let's figure out how to make that 10 clubs.
Wow,
and the clubs are fully on board with that strategy. They were the ones that nominated the suppliers that we would invite. So everybody sent their best vendor they thought that was their best diverse supplier. We invited them, and all the other clubs that weren't doing business with them agreed that they'd take the time, listen to what they had to say, and potentially send them some bid opportunities. The second step was new suppliers that haven't done business with us yet, but fit into very specific industries that we know for a fact that next season we're going to have some potential bids for.
Okay.
So promotional products, things related to facilities and construction, because we're in the process of renovating a couple of ballparks. So those types of categories, we sought out diverse suppliers that are the best in those industries and said, please come on out and see if you want to potentially do business with MLB. So it went well, but the strategy was executed, and we achieved that goal.
That's terrific to hear. Now, comparing baseball to other sports, how far or behind do you think, I'm sorry to say that, how far behind or how far ahead do you think that the league is in terms of diversity in business?
We definitely consider ourselves the premier supplier diversity professionals in the sports industry. The other leagues have great programs.
Okay.
In some cases, it's event driven. So if there is a particular event, in the case of the NFL, maybe the Super Bowl. In the case of the NBA, maybe the All-Star Game. They do an excellent job of finding diverse suppliers. For us, this is a full-time mission. We do this every day, all day. All clubs are active. It is not event-driven. It's literally, like I said, woven into the fabric of our business. This is a great case in point. This is our off season. We're not even playing right now,
Mm-hmm.
and we just held a diversity event where I got major support from all of the teams. That's a key testament to the fact that even when it's off season, we're still focused on diversity and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So for us, again, this is something we do every day, all day. It's 24/7 with us. I know a lot of my peers in the space at some of the other leagues. They all know that they can count on me as a resource and whatever they need. The NFL knows that they can reach out to me for some great suppliers when it's Super Bowl time. The NBA and I have a great relationship when it's time for their All-Star game. So, we hope that everybody gets to the point that we are, and they also know that we're here to support them to get that done.
Terrific. Now, how important, obviously, this is your job, how important is diversity in sports?
I see what you're trying to do there. No, look, I think diversity is important everywhere, right?
Okay.
Regardless of industry. And for us, I think one of the most important factors of this, and I'll stick to sports, but it's not even about ethnicity, right? It's not even about gender. It's not even about sexual orientation. It's not about your religion. It's not about your politics. And I get that those are all important things for us.
Uh-huh.
It's about diversity of thought.
Okay, that's a different way.
You get different thought from different types of people and their experiences. And for us, diversity of thought leads to innovation. And it's about us figuring out ways in which we can improve our business, improve our game, have the best fan engagement and fan experience every time somebody comes to a baseball game. And by diversifying our supply chain and suppliers that didn't even exist 5 years ago, especially in this age of technology where, social media and dealing with those types of things happen so rapidly. Suppliers that we were dealing with 20 years ago can have a great idea, but if we've been using it for the past 20 years, maybe it's time to engage somebody new that just came up with something really cool, really hot, and they've only been around for 5 years. And the reality is, especially if you look at what's going on in this country, more minority businesses are being started every day, more women-owned businesses are being started every day, and we have to give those people an opportunity to really give us a leg up in our industry and provide us with some really cool and innovative things that, ultimately enhance our game.
That's great to hear. I'm very happy with that response. Now, lastly, what goals do you have to further make sure that diversity remains a priority in the league?
Again, it's part of what we do. We have really cool things coming up from a youth development perspective. Our commissioner, Rob Manfred, when he became commissioner last year, he led a great charge about youth development, and he started a program called Play Ball, which really makes sure that kids of all ages are playing this game. And a huge part of that is making sure that diverse kids are playing this game. So, things as simple as just making sure kids of color are playing this game. Who knows what those kids are going to do in 20 years, right? They may not become a Major League Baseball player, but they might start their own business. And the fact that they played baseball as a kid might spark something in them to create a new business that's geared towards baseball. So we're looking at not only future ball players, but we're looking at future entrepreneurs and saying, look, if we're going to be in this for the long haul, if we're going to be in this, hopefully for a really, really long time, what are some things that we can do to spark a future entrepreneur now that loves the game of baseball that's going to enhance our brand? So I think for us, it's really about, like I said, looking for that innovation across all operational functions of the game and saying, look, however you feel you can help us, diverse or otherwise, we're open and eager to listen.
That's terrific. Well, Corey, thanks so much for taking time to chat with us. I'll definitely be writing something up and I will share this. And hopefully you get to read it, what I wrote.
I look forward to it. Thanks for your time.
Of course, no, thank you for your time.